did. The New York Jets absolutely killed the draft. That was extremely impressive what they were able to walk away with from the draft there. They finished 4-13 last year. The biggest thing about this team is they are just so young. They're kind of a question mark. I don't really think anyone knows exactly what's going to come out of this team. They are so young, but they're absolutely loaded with talent. The big additions they added Jordan Whitehead at strong safety. I think that's a huge plus for them. Added Vinny Curry for some depth. They had Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson. I mean, there's some heavy hitters that were added to this team in the offseason there. So, I think Salah's got a lot to work with. He's going into year 2. The linchpin in this team is going to be Zach Wilson this year. It was not pretty last year. We all know that the 49ers system that Salah brought over is very friendly to quarterbacks, but I don't think Zach Wilson fully understood what was going on, and it made it more difficult because he was trying a bunch of stuff. He was trying to work too much. But, this year I think he has a better understanding of the whole playbook and where he needs to go with it. And they added just a ton of weapons on this team for him. I mean, the biggest thing with Wilson is he led the league in catchable passes dropped last year, and that usually shows accuracy issues for quarterbacks. But he's worked very hard on it this year, and reports out of camp are he's looking pretty efficient. So I do think this offense takes a step forward this year. Taking a shot on Wilson as a QB2 and a super flex, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, it's ballsy, but he's currently going to QB22. At that point, you don't have a lot of upside with those guys. So Zach Wilson could be the guy that helps you win your league this year, and it pains me to say that. Running backs, I mean, they have Tevin Coleman still. They've got Michael Carter. They've got Breece Hall. Michael Carter is currently going at RB 46, but this is a full-blown running back by committee, I believe, at this point. I mean, with all the names they have. The fact that Breece Hall profiles better than Michael Carter in every important measurable, speed, evasiveness, receiving, and blocking, it's really not good for Michael Carter. He has minimal standalone value unless something happens to this backfield. If Tevin Coleman were to get injured, if something, with Breece Hall happened, then we could see kind of what we saw from him last year. But I think Breece Hall steps right in, and the Jets already view him as the running back one. They traded up for him in the second round, and he is special. He is probably the most complete back to come out since Saquon. We all know how that went. But the Jets absolutely love this guy, and it fits his scheme perfectly. And Robert Saleh has mentioned him as a home run hitter constantly, and they will use him to cover up for Zach Wilson's shortcomings. I think this offense runs through Breece Hall. Where he's going, he's RB19 right now. I think it's going to creep up a little bit more. I think by the time the season rolls around. But if you're in an underdog, I think it's a good time to buy on him because the line, Mikhail Becton, who knows what's going on with that guy, but they did bring Tomlinson in, a couple other guys to kind of bolster that line. So I think we could see even a better offensive line this year, which leads me to the wide receivers. We got the big three. We got Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, and Corey Davis. Jeff Smith and Braxton Berrios are going to be on the roster. I don't think you're going to get anything from those guys. But Elijah Moore, going at the end of the 5th round right now, he's an ADP of 66 on Underdog. He's going behind Juju Smith-Schuster and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The talent is there. The upside is undeniable. Even with Garrett Wilson there, we've already seen what Elijah Moore can do. I like the volume. I think he's the wide receiver one on this team. For the foreseeable future, Garrett Wilson could have something to say about that, but I do like where Elijah Moore is going. Reports out of camp, again, camp news, but Garrett Wilson's not really fully understanding the playbook just yet, so they're keeping it light on him, but he's uber talented. He was my rookie wide receiver number 2 heading into drafts, and he had a pretty good landing spot to grow with Zach Wilson there. So the talent is there. My advice is be patient in the first half of the season with him. This team really does not have an identity yet, so they're going to have to build on that. So if you draft him, just know what you're getting yourself into. It's probably not going to pay off till the second half of the year. Corey Davis, I think he starts as the wide receiver 2 at the beginning of the season here. He could have some very good value early in the season, but I do think Garrett Wilson takes him over. Side note here, I think Denzel Mims gets cut. I really do. So if you want to add him, trade for him. Apparently he's in the best shape of his life right now. So they could be just trying to bolster up the, see if they get an offer for him or anything. But Denzel Mims could be a solid add in a dynasty. Just he's absolutely free right now. You might even be able to pick him up. They also added CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin. I don't know what you get out of these guys. Tyler Kroft had a couple good games last year. It seems like Zach Wilson likes the tight end, but I'm not banking on anything, especially by them adding both of those guys. Do you have anything to add on the offensive side, Bill?
My bad. Forgot I was muted.
The old mute.
First time I've ever done this before. I was gonna say is that Breece Hall was comped to Le'Veon Bell. It's potential. That's a potential thing that could be. And then Garrett Wilson was comped to OBJ, which I think is very likely. Garrett Wilson was my number one wide receiver through the entire year, pretty much. Not going to lie, the doubt started to creep in there at the end where Burks and London were kind of flirting with my spot. But I stuck with my convictions in the end. Garrett Wilson was my guy. There's a special little part about him, and I think that he's going to do really well on this team. He's not going to be your Corey Davis, tall, that kind of guy. He's going to be the guy that cuts and does his thing through the middle of the field, and that's what you're getting from Garrett Wilson. So I think that if they can unlock that with Zach Wilson, I don't see why Zach Wilson fails this year. There really is no excuse. These wide receivers, they're young, but they're very talented. There should not be a reason why Zach Wilson fails.
Right. And even if he does, I think, they've set themselves up good for next year. If he fails, you got Young and Stroud coming out. You could take a shot at one of them.
Yeah.
And the whole team's extremely young. So you got a lot of rookie contracts right now. You've got a lot of stuff. So they could even bring in a veteran at the right price. But I do like Zach Wilson. Now, the Garrett Wilson thing, he played against press coverage at Ohio State. So that is a huge plus about getting him on the field early. So you're going to see some fireworks with him. Like I said, I would just be patient on that one.
Now, good with everything else.
Yeah, on the defensive side, quick hits. CJ Mosley, just don't forget about him. He's 30 years old. A lot of people are starting to write him off already. But he just had his best statistical season. He had 168 tackles and 2 sacks last year. So I don't see any reason why he can't repeat that. I mean, he's got the starting spot locked down. They're getting Carl Lawson back from a torn Achilles. His rookie season was his best statistical sack season, but he could build on that. This defense is just so freaking young. It's ridiculous. We got Quinnen Williams. He's one of my breakout guys this year. I can just feel it coming on. He had 6 sacks last year, but his rushing efficiency is really off the charts. They added some depth. They added Vinny Curry there, so they could keep him fresh, and you could see that sack total really bump up this year. And then his brother, Quincy Williams, had 73 solo tackles last year. So you're talking about an LB3, LB4, not the worst thing to have on your roster there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope people don't forget about CJ Mosley either. I think that he's not one of those names that's going to really get. I don't know. Maybe I am not talking from a place of knowledge, but I think that CJ Mosley is getting overlooked by a lot of people because he doesn't have the team. But Robert Saleh really gets these guys playing. Their defense was secretly pretty good last year, even with the injuries that they dealt with. Yeah. So.
They're stacked on the defensive side of the ball now.
They really are.
Adding Sauce back there. The Jordan Whitehead signing, I brought it up earlier, but he should slot right in at strong safety. And with the amount of cover 3 that the Jets run, he could have just an absolute monster of a year playing that position.
He could. No, I like this team, and I really think that I think this is a sneaky team, man. Really do. Yeah. I think this is one of those teams where we're going to be looking at them in probably November. They probably have only won 4 or 5 games by this point, but it's much improved over what we thought, I guess.
Yeah, there's just so much value on this team. I mean, it's even if you look at guys like Breece Hall and Elijah Moore, where they're going and what they could be, if you buy them at the right price, you could have an absolute league winner on your team. So there's just too much value here.
I think you're right about that.
They do have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, let's
starting off here.
I would My DraftKings app needed a download today, so I don't have the over-unders. But
Well, let's make them up here.
okay, well that works for me.
So we got Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Miami, Green Bay, Denver, New England, Buffalo, New England again, Chicago, Minnesota, Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Miami.
I did not love that, Joe.
The start of the season's very difficult.
Oh, man, that sucks.
I mean, if Watson plays, you're going Baltimore and Cleveland and Cincy. Those are all losses probably. You could probably beat Pittsburgh, but with the way Tomlin coaches, I think Trubisky's or Pickett could still put up a run against this team. Miami, Green Bay, Denver. Ugh.
Okay.
Buffalo.
Well,
man, that's crazy.
Maybe
5 wins.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's going to be something like 5. Probably not a big winner there. By the way, boy Mickey Blanco still on the team.
Yep.
I hope the legend of Mickey Blanco continues forever and ever. To be honest,
the Jets are at 5.5.
5.5. That sounds.
Damn you, Vegas.
Man, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
I could see them winning 6. I could see them winning 5.
Yeah,
probably about right though. Maybe this is the year. This is the team this year that's going to pull some weird upsets that we're going to be like, that team won that game, huh?
Yeah, they're just going to be fun to watch. They're really